Schrijver Daniel Estulin die probeert het Bilderberg-mysterie te ontrafelen.
To be a Bilderberger, you have to own a piece of the earth. If you don't own a piece of the earth, you can never be a Bilderberger. They need to eliminate a substantial part of the world's population. Now there's documents, a 1974 document written by the United States government, signed by Henry Kissinger and Richard Nixon, where they're talking about the need to eliminate 3 billion people off the face of the earth.
One of the ways to lower the population numbers is make people go hungry and they'll starve to death. Do you know what I mean? One of the reasons I think that they're not using more the whole thing of man-made diseases is that nature is going to take its course and do it for them.
What about the manufacture of H1N5 and the multiplicity of diseases that have been manufactured at Fort Detrich's and the rest of these?
You're absolutely right. The problem with this, again, in my family, every member of my family except for me are doctors, scientists, and my uncle has a doctorate degree in organic chemistry, and my father is a brilliant chemist, and they're all saying the same thing. One of the problems with getting rid of people through this form of final solution, if you wish, is you don't control 100% of it. It just may get out of control, and you may just not be able to control the spread of this disease. So you may kill more people than you wish, or you may start killing your own. Do you know what I mean? So this would be like the last resort. They've tried this on controlled areas, but not on a global scale of 6.5 billion people. So I think that's one of the major setbacks or difficulties that these people have.
Well, suppose you have an antidote to H1N5 or other things. Do you think they have the capacity to do this? If they say H1N5 is deadly, 98% of the population is wiped out except for those people who have an appropriate antidote?
I don't know. I talked to people, a couple of friends of mine who are in the CIA who've done some of the work with people from Wakenhut Corporation. I've asked them this. They said, they saw things, and when they saw things, they just said, your mind tries to forget. It's just so terrifying that you just want to forget immediately, lest you want to lose sleep for the rest of your life. So when I tried to question, they said, I'm not telling you, don't even ask. Since the 1970s, we've had progressively less and less and less oil supply. Now, if these people want to reduce the population base to 3 billion people and then say we lied, we have a lot of oil, there are other ways of doing it. The whole thing...
What other ways?
For example, I saw a phrase 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, more or less, in one of the CFR reports. We're talking about the demand destruction. Now, the only way you can destroy the demand is by destroying the economy, and you need to destroy the world economy because all these other nations, such as the Chinese and the Indians, especially, that's half of the world's population right there. They want the same trinkets that we have here, and they feel they have the right to all these things. So again, to keep these people from using somebody else's energy supplies, you must destroy it. Now, the only way you can destroy the demand is by destroying the economy, and you need to destroy the world economy because all these other nations, such as the Chinese and the Indians, especially, that's half of the world's population right there. They want the same trinkets that we have here, and they feel they have the right to all these things. So again, to keep these people from using somebody else's energy supplies, you must destroy it, unfortunately. And you see a lot of people mobilizing, not only on the fringes, but also within the Secret Service community. And again, for every CIA agent who says that this is a scam, there's 10 people says this is just too real and this is just too scary. I think there's general consensus amongst the scientific community that we are reaching a point of no return in respect to oil. Governments can't say it because a politician, if he says we're running out of oil, they're going to have to give a solution as to how to get out of it. And as they don't have any solutions, you're seeing what you're witnessing again. I find it very difficult to believe that all these clues, all these wars, and again, forget about physical scientific proof. Every conflict in Africa, there's 32 conflicts in Africa. Every one of these conflicts is an energy conflict. Do you know what I mean? If these people had so much, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't do this unless they needed that energy.
think that we could develop a political economic system that could address the problem of
No.
overpopulation and energy and foodstuffs?
No, you could never do that.
Outside of the context of capitalism.
No, you could never do that, because if it became a credible threat, they will destroy you. Because they have the guns, they have the weapons, they control the courts, they control the banks, they control you can't do that. You can't fight using their system.
Isn't he doing it?
Well, that's another long story. Chavez is doing it, which is one of the reasons they're trying to get rid of him. They are. But again, Chavez is not all he is made out to be by the left-leaning press. He's also a dictator. You know, I wouldn't vote for him either, ever.
And he's a dictator because he refuses to go along with the charade of democracy that we have. He says, the Americans say, you have to be a Democrat like us. We're not Democrats. What kind of bullshit is that? He's saying, fuck you. I'm going with a coherent policy that serves my people. You can call me what you want.
Well, he's also destroying his own middle class. Anybody who doesn't believe in Chavez, which is obviously, I'm not talking about democracy, I'm just talking about, you know, individual rights. I have a lot of friends in Venezuela, and people are being killed, driven off the land, threatened. A lot of them are immigrating for the same reason that people are immigrating to the United States.
And the same reason that they immigrated from Castro's Cuba. Because they lost their asses, because they were working in casinos and they were crooks and they were bankers. And to what degree do you think you might be, we're wrapping up here.
Okay.
You might be a victim of information that the Bilderbergers want to pass to you, that you might be propagandizing on behalf of the Bilderbergers?
Well, if I am propagandizing on behalf of anybody, it would be the Russians. You know, my grandfather was in the KGB, and you know, it'd be difficult for.
I mean it inadvertently.
Look, there's no way, first of all, to disprove this, to deny this. What I do know is that I don't belong to any organization, and I'm in this sense a one-man army. I don't participate. I don't join groups, discussion forums, just because I know how easy it is to be infiltrated from within, and for them to discredit or make you something they want you to be. And so I'm very, very careful about that. I also have important people who work in the Russian Secret Service watch my back. So if again, I may be a one-man army as far as my fight, but I'm not alone. I'm just the front man. I see people realizing that they can't live in the present financial system. They got to get out of debt. They got to get rid of anything which may be a burden to them in the future. Money will not be of any value when you run out of energy. So unless you can change the way money works, you will not change the system.
How about exposing them?
Again, people won't believe you, because what the Bilderbergers have done is they've proven, they've been able to make people believe that what they can see and touch is real, everything else is not. And as what we're talking about is tangible thing, which goes beyond what you can see, they will laugh in your face, and most of them will not believe you. Because also it challenges their set of values and makes them, if they do believe, it means that their entire lives have been a lie. And that's difficult to take.
Het is een geheimzinnige club van 130 man die dus 1 keer per jaar op een geheime locatie bij elkaar komt. Dit jaar is hij in Istanbul, dus zo geheim is die plek niet meer. Maar dat wordt pas kort van tevoren echt bekendgemaakt. Ook de deelnemers worden pas zo...
Wanneer is hij dan?
Dat is pas eind mei.
En...